Hello and welcome to Tarot Your Truth with me, Jade. Thank you very much, first of all, for coming to spend some time with me today, especially if you're a returning viewer, given all of the filming challenges that I have had. Anyway, I've been seeing on YouTube a couple of tarot tags that I thought would be really fun to join in on, and those are Show Your Shuffle by Amethyst Ascension, and the second is Tarothappiness by Strength Reversed. Sorry, I'm gonna just adjust this slightly. There we go. All right. So I thought it would be fun to join in. If you haven't seen those channels, please do check them out. Those ladies are just so much fun. I love watching them. I'm so glad I found them. I did only find them a few days ago, and I have watched a few episodes from a few videos from each of them, and I've had quite a bit of fun watching their different topics. Anyway, I will start with the Tarothappiness first. So what brings me happiness in terms of the tarot? Well, first of all, I love to learn, and I love to learn what tarot is teaching me and can teach me. There are so many things, so I love that there's sort of two parts to that. The first is that it can teach me things about our physical world. And as an example, the Herb Crafter's Tarot, I have done a walkthrough of this deck, and I absolutely love it. I haven't gotten a chance to work with it too much just yet, but it's such an amazing combination, I guess, of the tarot system and the herbs and plants that are around us that we can use in our different day-to-day lives, or even your spiritual practice, if that's something that works for you. So this learning things from a tarot deck while I'm doing tarot is actually, there's nothing better in my opinion. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that I love that tarot can teach me things about myself. I think I mentioned in a previous episode that the past year was pretty insane, pretty horrible experience for me. And it was really the tarot and my work through the tarot, doing shadow work and just learning, using it as a meditation and personal development tool that's really helped me to move past that tarot energy and quite frankly find myself again. So I just love it for that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I love all of the art. I love that there are so many decks out there. I don't know at this point, like several hundred, I guess, if not thousands. Excuse me, sorry about that. I think, and there's so many different art styles. There's so many creative people out there. I just find it amazing, and I think that there's something out for everyone. There is not just the one style of deck, like a Rider-Waite-Smith style of deck, and even in the Rider-Waite-Smith decks, there are now quite a few different styles. I think there's something for everyone. Here's three examples that are quite different. You have the Wild Unknown, which is quite earthy. It's all animals. There's no people. It's all line drawings, mostly black and white, although there are cards with a lot of color, and then there are cards with just a pop of color, or no color at all other than the black and white. Then this one here is the Dark Mansion Tarot, which is it kind of reminds me of a Tim Burton-esque kind kind of art. I love it as well. You know, but those two are just so different from each other. And then this one here is the Santa Muerte tarot deck, which I just got, and I will do a deck review on. Again, it's very, very different from both of those decks, and there are many more. I will actually go through in a separate video to talk about the different decks that I own and why I own them, and why they bring what different things they bring to me. So I just love the variety. The third thing is I just love getting a new tarot deck. I love getting something in the mail. I know that sounds terrible. You know, a capitalistic society and all that. I was always the kid who would go searching for birthday and Christmas presents before the actual day. You know, my parents would hide the presents, or Christmas presents, for example, and wrapped up, and I would go on a scavenger hunt without them knowing about it, and I would go find the present, and I would carefully open the present, or at least a corner of it, to see what it was. And it's just because I can't stand the suspense. I really can't, actually, even if I'm watching a movie. I don't like watching movies that are that are thrillers or that have any kind of suspense. I hate playoff time in hockey because I love hockey, but or any of the major sports, but I just can't stand not knowing who is going to be triumphant in the end. A lot of people love that. Anyway, I'm sort of getting off topic there, but so I love getting a new deck. One of the things is that I don't just want all the decks. All the decks that I own for a reason. I have been a little bit more careful in the past month or so as to what I'm getting and why. And quite frankly, you know, I received one indie deck, which was the Manuscript of Initiations. I backed it on Indiegogo. I loved what I saw on Indiegogo in terms of the art, but when it arrived in my hands, I took a look through it and immediately decided that it wasn't for me. A couple of reasons for that, but so I passed it on. I'm not going to hang on to something that I know that I will likely not use or not use for a very long time. That's just not me. The next thing I love that brings me tarot happiness, which is number 3, is modifying a deck. So I adore, I adore making things suit me. So you can see here, I haven't modified this one. It comes already edged in black. It's actually black cardstock, if I'm not mistaken. And this one, clearly I haven't. This is a brand new one, and I will do a walkthrough. But the Wild Unknown here, you can see that I have modified. I've edged it. And I do have another video out where I talk about what to do, what not to do with decks that I've seen out there, and I do show all of the decks that I've modified. Another one is, as an example, so you can either color the edge of the deck as shown there. The other thing you can do as well is to trim the deck. So I have smallish hands, and this Wild Unknown tarot was just too big. I couldn't shuffle it. The cards were just flying everywhere. I mean, even the Dark Mansion tarot is kind of at the bigger limit of what I can reasonably shuffle. And I will not trim that one because I just love it so much as is. But for this one, it had a border, and I love borderless decks, and it was too big, so I figured, you know, if I can modify this so that it makes me want to use it more, then I don't see any reason why I should not. So modifying a deck is another tarot happiness of mine. The next thing I love, so I love getting a new deck in the mail, but I also really love a well-loved deck. I don't have any because yet, well, I mean, I love all my decks, but I don't have a well-loved deck. And what I mean by a well-loved deck is one that has been used for years, that, you know, the cardstock is just, like the edges are all puffy and getting used, and you could just tell that the deck has been well used and loved. And then, you know, I hate it from the perspective of, you know, the more worn the deck is, the closer it is to needing to be replaced. But I love it when I see videos of tarot card readers who show their decks that are just beat up. I just love it. I adore that. So that's my next thing. And the last thing I'll talk about here, because I'll just include 5, is finding new tarot channels to watch. I only started less than 3 months ago learning about tarot, and you know, I found out about Tarot Tube maybe 2 months ago, and you know, some of the bigger channels show up, and they're great. I've learned a lot from them. I like the community that they have built around them and the fun that they have. I love that. You know, when people find their tarot tribe, I just think that that's absolutely fantastic. I don't know anyone else in real life who does tarot, so seeing the community that people have built around themselves, I think, is just amazing. And I do love also seeing newer channels like mine. You know, I think everyone has their own voice, their own take, and I love watching people be so enthusiastic about the things that they love. So those are my 5 tarot happiness things for now. I think, you know, there are quite a few more. I love making bags as well, and knitting, you know, knitting accessories. I made this tarot cloth, and I'll show some of the pouches that I have made as well. But I wanted to also touch on the show your shuffle. So, oh my goodness, this could be a complete disaster, because I can't riffle shuffle. I just can't do it. The cards go flying everywhere. I'm sure if I put in a lot of practice, then that would work. With some, you know, it also depends on the card stock. With my Tarot de la Nuit deck, it's so, the card stock seems quite thick. The cards are very stiff, and I just couldn't do it. And I could do the first part, you know, this part, but I can't do the, I think it's called the riffle. So I just do this. So that is what I will do. However, I am finding that when I do that, the cards do develop a bit of a bow, and I don't like that. So I tend to not do that. I tend to just shuffle this way. Oh my goodness, okay. I tend to just shuffle this way. So either just completely out front, or front, back, front, back. And I think that's okay. It really bothers me. I bought a deck off of someone, and it's my Sibylla deck, and they clearly riffle not riffle shuffle, I don't know what it's called, but they did this because it's only one corner of the deck, so they do it. Sorry, hopefully. So just the corner. I can't do that very well, clearly. No. Okay, let's try that again. There we go, that's better. So they just do the corner. And the reason that I know that, because I don't know the person from Adam, but if a deck has just one corner that's completely bent upwards, I don't like that. I don't know if it actually damages the deck, but I know that when I have tried to do the riffle shuffle, I did damage one of my cards. I bent it in half, and I don't like it. So I just prefer to do this. Let's see if I can do that backwards. I am right-handed. So sorry, I'm not very good at it, which is why I tend to shuffle for quite a few minutes in order to get a good mix. The other thing I do usually is take a chunk from the middle and then do it that way. Sorry, it's really awkward to do this from behind the camera. I don't think there's any special way you're supposed to shuffle or anything, but so that's what I do. So there's my tarot tags for Show Your Shuffle and Tarot Happiness. Thank you so much for watching, and again, as I said, go check out those two channels, the Amethyst, Ascension, and Strength Reversed. And I'm loving watching the videos out there for people doing other video responses, so please do keep them coming. Thank you so much. Take care.